All right, then. I'll bring the show in. That's what I'm doing right now. This is the intro.
Doing great.
Thanks.
Bring it in.
Nice. Oh, yeah. We should introduce you guys to the reverse middle finger.
Oh, you will want to know that.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Super BS. This is neither Dave nor Brank. This is Donna, Dr. Neil Donna of Croc Mythology fame. Currently hashing out page after page on my book. I've got the fonts. I've got the page margins, the indentations. I've got the word counts.
I was going to ask that.
What's the Gobo situation looking like?
I've got a whole chapter and sub-chapters dedicated to Gobos. Baron Dante, the bad guy.
Is there a Go Pro hybrid chapter?
Definitely.
Okay, good.
POV of Gobos, and there's a lot of bits on how Yoshi is the imposter and Croc is the master.
There you
All
go.
games.
I'm so lost. This
I
is
don't
a
know
really
what
weird
you're
podcast.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah. So we want to just welcome you guys to a special edition of Super BS. I, Dr. Neil Donna, am hosting, as my name was revealed on my book cover several weeks ago. We are doing another Numenera episode. So welcome back to the Ninth World, which
This is
is
huge.
why I'm hosting. Even though we're playing a role-playing game today, we do maintain our show position that Spyro is shit and that Croc is legit.
Do we vote on this?
It's non-negotiable.
Okay.
What's a Spyro?
Spyro is a weak-ass dragon, purple, stupid,
Oh, the game?
not classic at all. Completely overrated compared to a humble green crocodile from a game called Croc.
Who wears
Legend
a
of the
backpack.
Gobos. Wears a
Amen to
backpack.
that.
I'm going to invoke the double reverse middle finger.
Yeah.
And what are we doing tonight? Like what's
Playing some Numenera. So
Okay. Okay.
I want to update our listeners on our staunch policies for.
Right.
They've read the
Life
manifesto.
philosophy,
I think they're up to date.
So we have our returning guests from the Numenera of episodes past, including Nathan, the town idiot.
Hi.
Nathan's actually a nuclear physicist,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
What's great is that when you're a town idiot, it doesn't matter the town.
I think it's village idiot is the term.
Yeah, but we live in a more modern society, so
Who's the idiot now, GM?
Can there be city idiots?
yeah, Cityots.
Idiots.
Darth Cityots. That's where that came from. And we also have, who do I have on my left?
Howdy, howdy, howdy. This is Mark Batstone.
Oh, it's not Woody from Disney's Toy Story?
That was a shark.
A few episodes ago, we decided to hash out some inter-team conflict on how to avoid talking over each other. So we came with a system of hand signs, which takes the
And hand
form
holding.
of, it's a reverse middle
Hand
finger. So you have to face this way.
You have to
And-
humiliate yourself and flip yourself off.
Yeah, so
But it's worth
instead
it.
of this, you do this. And that means that you have something to say.
It's done wonders for my self-esteem.
Yeah. So if at any point you need to interrupt the GM or another player, just hold out your finger.
And wait to be called on.
Wait to be called on. Or don't.
Or like I just did not.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged. It's the law.
Okay. So as a quick last time on the Vortex recap, our intrepid players, they found themselves in the middle of a wilderness, an indiscreet location. They discovered a sort of giant structure rising out of the lake, of a river actually, to which they waited around, couldn't figure out what to do with, but eventually saw a bunch of people in yellow robes chanting and then entering said structure, which then disappeared. Not really knowing what to do with this, they did find a journal nearby that indicated that a town was nearby. So they went to this town, and they discovered that these people in yellow robes were some type of cult. Not much was known about them from the villagers. The village had its own problems, a.k.a. their main financial supply of being a fishing village was cut off because the lake that they fished in, Dog Lake, was overrun by some type of bizarre ghost or monster. It was a little bit hard to get an accurate description out of people.
And
yes, reverse
had
middle
no
finger.
had no dogs, which
Had
was
no
disappointing.
dogs.
It
Yeah.
was I was really let down.
real.
They had
False
entennolodons, the
advertising.
like mini pig hippos.
Oh, the jerky. We had a lot of
Yeah.
jerky last
a lot
time.
of jerky.
no pups.
So the team of travelers decided to aid these people. They went out and attacked this monster, which turned out to be a bizarre crab monster that mounted its victims' heads on its weird tendrils. And after doing that, they were celebrated by the town. And then, of course, they learned that there was a nearby date that matched up to a distance away from the village where they would see this structure again. So they decided to head out that way and investigate. And they went hunting for Marion berries for several days to survive while camping in the wilderness. And then, of course, at this time, at the appointed time, the structure rose from the ground, and out of it popped a young woman in a yellow robe, who they chased for some reason,
It made
aggressively, aggressively frightened.
Kill her.
Were six packs displayed by certain characters at this point?
Six packs were displayed
Certain young men in the party.
by certain
Hot, supple
young,
boys.
hot, supple
Hashtag
boys.
hot supple boys.
And her name was Ivana, and she let out the information that she was escaping from this cult that has sort of kidnapped her and her brother, attempted to indoctrinate them into their way of life, the will of the vortex. And you guys convinced her to join you and lead you back inside to help rescue her brother. So yeah, that is where our story picks up. Let's go ahead and remind everyone who our characters are. Let me start on my right.
All right. This is
That's
Dave.
enough of that.
Oh
Let's
my
move
gosh.
on.
I didn't even get a reverse middle finger on that. It's Dave, your favorite character who is a lawyer from the normal podcast. I'm playing Cincian Sawa, who is an empathic nano who crafts illusions.
Whoa.
I wish I could help, but you don't seem to be connected to the internet.
Jeez.
See, now I don't want to digress from our game too much, but
Siri is actually playing for Brink
just a
tonight.
real world update. The ongoing battle between the chaos of the law and the light of order and medicine is still ongoing. Obviously, interruptions
Yes.
like that are clearly brought about by the law.
That's
starring
unacceptable.
Dave.
That was my assistant, Siri. She's
Yeah.
really zealous.
She's a real zealous lawyer, and
I have an assistant
She's
who's
good.
also a lawyer.
we will fight them.
Siri's a lawyer.
Siri's a lawyer, yeah.
All right. This is Jank, no relation to JJ from the Super BS Games cast. I'm Kane, a driven jack who consorts with the dead. They don't always talk back, so it gets kind of lonely.
Yakety yak.
I am Tierson.
Why don't let's back up for a second. Why don't you give us a little more? Let's treat this like after the first commercial break of Jeopardy.
Tierson
You know-
backs away from the stage awkwardly.
We know that you're Kane, a driven jack that consorts with the dead. Let's hear something else. Let's get a little more
What are his
nuggets
fears
of
and hopes?
backstories.
How many kids do you have?
No kids. I'm actually afraid of women and public speaking, so it's one of
This
my
is your
fears.
character, or-
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I got hurt by the turtle thing in the last episode, so with the tentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't very nice.
What's he do in his free time?
Yeah, he tries to talk with the dead. You know,
In
it's
his
just
freak
in my
time, more
freak
like.
time. Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you into...
Necrophilia? Is that what you're?
Let's just
I mean,
get the elephant out of the room, right?
the Antodon or whatever out of the room?
Right. Olifant.
Teledon.
yeah.
I will always be infinitely entertained at the way the light on your glasses gives you angry owl eyebrows during.
Good.
Go ahead and
Oh,
look
I'm
down
glad.
for
It
everyone.
Makes you look
This-
wise, though.
Yeah. See it?
Guys,
It's right
if you're
there.
if you're
That is-
listening on the podcast,
An
you can
angry
actually
owl.
see it. Just look at the radio. You'll be able to see
Look
it.
at the radio.
Yeah, look
Yeah, the
now.
speaker.
Look at the radio.
Look
So
at the radio
stoic.
and the speakers.
All right. Let's move on to Tierson.
All right, this is Nathan. I'm playing Tierson.
It's Nathan, the town/village/city idiot.
I'm a Sidiot now. I've been upgraded. You'll find me in
More
your
of just a
nearby city.
grade. It's not really an up or down
Well,
It's just a
grade.
different
stupider
I've
you
been
get-
graded.
the stupider you get, the higher up you get in,
Yeah.
in level. So I'm a tier 2 idiot. I'm also like hunched over to speak into this microphone, and it feels really silly. Like I just have some little secret.
You're doing great.
killing it.
And I'm a intimidating nano who wonders. That's my secret.
Great.
Why am I so dark?
I'm like really scary, so you know.
And to our left, we have replacing our beloved high school baby boy Brank. He is Mark Batstone, full name, no nickname. What character will you be playing?
Well, we'll just have to see, because this character hasn't met the team yet. So as far as the story goes, yeah. If the GM lets me play at all, I guess.
There were 10 listeners who just were about to turn this off, and they're like, "Whoa,
Oh, I
I
I
love
want to meet
surprises.
this."
I got a hook now.
That's a mystery.
We
I
hooked
can
him.
get
I want to
behind.
meet that boy.
A village idiot and a mystery character.
Mark,
I love it.
by any chance, are you an octopus tonight? Or a squid-like creature? Oh. Okay. We'll see how that goes.
See,
Well,
as a lawyer, Dave can never recognize when he's being patronized.
What?
All right. I guess we'll get started.
That sounds great.
Yeah, we do our. You guys want to do our typical prayer to Monty Cook, the creator of our game?
Can we just do
world.
prayer requests tonight? And then maybe like a
Yeah.
moment of... Or how do you want to pray?
I was thinking we would just all sort of chant and hum a typical,
Okay.
Well, he did retweet the last episode, so he's listening, apparently.
Minor illusion. Disguise. Major illusion. Illusory song.
Unspoken.
Implant a suggestion.
We thank you that none of us are lawyers except for one of us.
Shock to the system.
Praise you for medicine, the
Mental.
Numenera Ninth World. Thank you.
Increase capability. Tier 4. Effort 4. Sensing. Deliberated. Debilitated.
Now we have to edit
That
out
was
that prayer.
sacrilegious, JJ.
Let's avoid those kind of
We're
jokes.
praying to Monty here, okay?
Okay, my bad.
We don't want to
Respectful.
offend necrophilia.
we have a lot of
At least 10 of our listeners.
We know
That's like a third.
we know for a fact. You've all written in many times about your love for said thing.
And
This will all be edited
we
out.
don't judge. We can't. We're not judges.
All right.
No, you're a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer. Exactly. I'll defend you.
So, picking up where you gentlemen left off, it's been roughly 10 days of camping. You've recently joined forces with the young Ivana, who, if you remember, is a teenage-aged female wearing yellow robes, of course, the same yellow robes you've seen. She has stolen a key to the entrance of this structure, this moving structure, and has joined forces with you in an attempt to free her brother. You are standing outside the narthex, if you remember that this was called the name of the structure, and Brank, baby boy Brank, decides to take a little potty break. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Just going to go over here. I'm going to run pretty far because I'm such a strong top boy. But don't worry, I run so fast, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
This is our
That's-
chance to ditch him.
It's the last thing you hear him say.
And then we all just kind of like sigh, and our heart
Yeah.
rates all kind of go down to normal.
Yeah, you get normal heart rates. Okay, so what do you guys want to do?
Did we convince Ivana to come with us yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not only did you do that, but I went over that several times.
Starting early.
I don't really like listening. I'm more a fan of talking, so
Yeah, I like to hear a lot
I
of
listen
things.
to things that I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's the
I think.
important
If you
thing.
want to just pass that, I can say it.
Yeah.
And then I'll hear it.
We need to go inside the narthex, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Kane. I think you're right.
Just that would be a hilarious character that can only he's got some like great power, but he can only learn things by reading them to himself out loud.
would
Like
be
he can only
so
absorb
fun.
information that he personally says.
That's Tierson.
I can't wait to play with that character.
Can't wait. We'll save that for our suicide run.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go in this narthex.
All right. Before you do, as you guys are convening on a plan of entry, assuming that you have more questions for her about what you might find inside the vortex, you see a figure off in the distance approaching the narthex. You assume it's Brink. The backlight of the sun at this time of day obviously kind of casts a shadow over the figure walking towards you. So you just assume, our beloved Brink has returned to us. But as he approaches closer, you notice some interesting things about this person. And at some point, Kane.
Just call me Jane. It's fine.
Yeah, Kane notices that can't possibly be Brink. Cincian
He's got his shirt
Not
on.
enough abs.
Cincian notices then next that it's also not Brink. And then, of course, Tierson, and I can't emphasize this enough, is the last person to notice that
He's wondering the whole time.
it's not Brink.
I just like to make sure. I wonder longer than you guys.
Yeah.
You're
Smarter,
thoughtful.
you know?
Yeah. I'm going to let this person describe himself. What do they see?
They see silhouetted, the sun beating down, confident, powerful strides from this figure kicking up dust. And as he draws closer, they notice that this figure's only about 3 feet tall.
Tierson faints.
This figure's about 3 feet tall, completely hairless, and has a 6-foot prehensile tail.
I'm intrigued.
Go on.
And an open tropical floral pattern shirt.
Oh my god.
What does this describe his face? Hair.
Humanoid?
No. Well, humanoid. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that's up to the. I think you can take it away if you want from here. I've kind of given the broad strokes of it.
All right.
Put it back in the hands of a proper storyteller.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that sounds right.
So as you notice that this is a very different creature than you were expecting, Tierson is caught wondering about why this resembled Brink so closely in his approach. And you're just thinking about that for a second. You know, Brink is constantly telling us that he is a taut young boy, but this tailed, 3-foot tall, greasy, floral pattern shirt mutant also
Italian.
looked like Brink. And you wonder if you've been lied to. But he approaches you anyway, no weapons drawn that you can see, and he speaks.
Hey, howdy, y'all.
You just screwed yourself. You had to keep that up all night.
I fight back a laugh. I'm really close to laughing. And I say, greetings to you, sir.
Yeah. Well, you can call me what you like.
What's your name, little guy?
Well, my name is Grode.
Grode?
Grode.
With a G?
I am Grode.
That's a beautiful name. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
What brings you to these parts, Grode?
Well, I've been following y'all for the past little bit. I was hiding out.
You didn't see the berry stuff,
That's
did you?
exactly what I wanted to bring up.
Oh boy.
Oh, gosh.
You just had the hardest time finding the right berries, and I figured y'all could use a little bit of help. You seem pretty lost and little worse for wear. So
You're not wrong.
yeah.
Hey, we'll take you.
Do you want to come on an adventure with us?
Well, seeing as how you guys don't look like the type that have accrued much money or anything like that, I don't know if I'd
doesn't seem like you're the type to have anything that would redeem much money, if I put it in a certain way.
All right, guys, he doesn't want us. Let's go.
So you're saying, Grode, that you're kind of driven by shins?
I'm saying with my
shins talk?
cut. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Wow.
it depends on what you bring to the table, I think. Mm-hmm. What can you bring to us?
Friendships are more valuable than money. I'm just going to throw that out there. Just a little aphorism.
True.
Even Cincian thinks that that's trite and lame.
But I might as well, since there's nothing else going on, I might as well sit around and see what you got cooking up until wild animals come and eat you all or what have you.
Well, we're just about to enter this bizarre structure called the Narthax, and I think we need all the help we can get. Are you up for something like that? Groud?
Road.
It's Grode.
Grode?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, you go first and I'll keep an eye out.
Okay.
We need to ask Ivana some questions about what we're going to find inside.
We're going to take a quick middle finger reverse disruption, if you will.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to highlight Mark Batstone, full name, no nicknames, character here.
Out is
Road. We're gonna. Mark and I have discussed Mark Batstone, full name, no nickname, has discussed
Can we get
with
his
me.
address in there?
Yeah, let's get his address in there. Let's get his parents' names in there, his sister's names,
Social Security.
Preferences.
preferences, necrophiliac tendencies. Anyway,
We just said not to discuss that.
my gosh.
I feel triggered.
Great. Now I'm dead.
We can talk to you now.
So.
Should I go over the broad strokes?
Yeah, we've discussed beforehand some intricacies of the character that we're gonna keep secreto.
Close to the best.
Yeah.
Great.
But
Gulp.
let's get let's get the main gist of it so we can talk about how that translates for listeners that are still interested in learning a little bit about how this game works and what kind of options you have if you do play.
Yeah. So I'm playing tonight as Grode, a mutant nano who constantly evolves. So mutant instead of a character type or like a
Descriptor,
yeah. Instead of descriptor like Nate or Tierson's I don't know, intimidating or like something that's more of a personality trait. Mutant is the descriptor for mine, and nano is pretty much I guess, imagine a spellcaster, and then constantly evolves is the sort of think of the skill tree or focus
as we
for this
call it
character.
in this game. Yeah,
Yeah,
That's my question. Thank you.
yeah.
yeah, and yeah, again, 3 feet tall, hairless,
Yeah.
oily.
Mutants are an
Tail.
interesting thing to play. They come with a lot of. You can sort of roll a mutant multiple ways. You can choose to have kind of a balanced set of minor pluses and minor negatives. You could choose to have like something really awesome and several negative traits. There's always a balance to it. You could have I think you can have like a lot of positives with one big negative, that kind of thing. So. Yeah, so we'll learn more about those as we go on.
I can't wait.
Have you picked a player connection?
Well, not yet, because we're just kind of meeting for the first time. But whoever's keenest on mutants maybe would be.
Sure, we'll see if anything.
We'll
like
see.
that
We'll see what
develops.
develops. Yeah. Sounds
Yes.
good.
Cool.
Like I said, you boys go first.
All right, so Kane, did you have some questions for Ivanka?
Yeah, I was
Ivana?
gonna ask her how far underground does this thing go?
Very far. Once we enter, the elevator will take us so far beyond the ground that no one truly knows.
Do you have an idea of where your brother might be in the Narthex?
I just know that he's chained up in that bastard of Brassel's chambers.
Who's a Brassel?
He's the leader. He has some sort of divine gift, divine power. Nobody can question him because his divinity is so apparent, but he's awful. He makes the women do awful things. He makes the men do awful things. He hoards all of the money for us, for our people. He he makes us live like slaves while he lives like a king.
Why is your brother chained in Abrasel's chambers?
Because my brother refused to be indoctrinated.
How he must have a very strong will if he's refused to become indoctrinated, right?
I'd like to think so.
This Abrassel probably just teased a lot, right? For his name growing up. Became evil. I'll show them who's the asshole.
They called me Mr. Abrassel.
All the limericks you could write with that.
Are we wearing yellow robes right now, or are we?
No.
We're not. Okay. Ivana, would you recommend us dressing in the garb of your people as we enter the Narthax?
I think I can sell you as potential inductees.
Oh, nice. Should we act dumb when
And
we meet people?
If we
Just act
can,
normal.
if we can keep the ruse up, it might even win enough favor to get my brother released before we can escape.
Oh, like a several in, one out type thing? Is that
Yes.
your plan, Ivana?
Yes. One in, one out.
One in, one out rule. Okay. Interesting plan.
Is the narthex in view right now? Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's right in front of
submerged.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, or not submerged. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, then Grode's over there. He's kind of looking at it and it's kind of getting impressed that it's something that's around here that's not berries and not not just like wildlife that's kind of boring.
Not just Marion berries.
Not just Marion berries.
I add an incentive to your greedy little mind, and I stick out my hand and I say, I'll give you half of my shins if you join us.
Ooh.
I've decided that Tierson is your PC connection.
Ooh.
Tierson seems to have some type of wondering interest in you as a mutant and the
Absolutely.
mutant kind in general. So whereas you are abrasive and abhorrent to civilized people,
Not
and
me.
therefore your interactions with them are obviously stunted. In the presence of Tierson, you gain a confidence and asset to those interactions. So if you're interacting with someone, you have a +1 on your roll as long as Tierson is in immediate distance.
Okay.
I-
Sounds good.
Oh, go ahead.
It's like a big brother, little brother kind of.
Yeah.
And if there's anything to climb, you need to help him up because it's only 3 feet.
Well, he's got that 6-foot tail.
I like you, friend. You're
I-
speaking my language.
And
All right.
I go and buddy up and climb up his leg and arm and I'll hop onto his shoulder and say,
You and I will get along just fine.
I shudder, but I try to be polite and be like, "That's great, Grode," but I'm like almost like sick to my stomach looking at you. But I try to be nice about it.
And I flip you 2 shins because I had 4 shins. So
That's half.
that's it. Sorry.
What are these?
Ivana looks at your group and says, "Is there any chance there's like a charming glaive who sees beyond that could join you guys?"
Oh, that guy. We had a guy like that, but what happened to him?
He went looking for his shirt.
I think he got like an STD or something. A little too charming.
Okay. Any other questions before you guys head in and begin your great ruse?
So, Ivana, what kind of dangers are down here? Like, are there any creatures? Is it just the people who are part of this cult?
Well, the structure is so vast that no one truly understands or has ever been able to fully explore. There's doors that are locked that are beyond any type of damage that can be done to it to open them. And it seems like all these people in this cult, they revere this area, but they know so little about it. They have fiddled with the knobs and fixtures and screens.
The screens got me. I was good until the screens.
The knobs are dangerous.
They're knob fiddlers.
Hashtag.
But and to no avail. It seems like whatever is out to be found in this structure, these people are incapable of finding it.
Bunch of dopes. All right.
Bunch of dopes.
Yvonne, is there anything else that you haven't told us yet that might be helpful?
No.
I'm just gonna do a quick
hold you to
little check on that because I'm good at sensing emotions and discerning dispositions and uncovering hunches.
All right.
She doesn't know I'm doing this, but I'm just doing like one of these like, are you really telling the truth,
Girl.
girl?
Scrunching your brow.
Three. That's a 3. In
You,
Numenera, 3s are the highest at a D20.
You try so hard that everyone can sense your try hardness.
There's like a vein popping out on your head.
You sense nothing, but you go down a step on the damage track.
What? No, I don't.
I'm just kidding. But no, you don't sense anything.
Okay. All right. Sorry for trying to have a good time.
I go, sorry, Ivana. He's not normally like this.
I say, can we go now?
Okay, so she brandishes the key stick, which we've agreed to not laugh about this time.
Why is the word stick in there?
It's called a key stick.
I honestly wasn't going to laugh till you said that.
Yeah. Well, I actually just realized that you guys had a hard time with that
We
concept.
did have a hard time last
We had to
time.
stop like 3 times because we were giggling, right?
That's true. There was a lot of giggling.
Yeah.
And
Professional.
It's all professional.
anyway, she brandishes she brandishes said key stick. She pushes some buttons on it.
Some knobs. Oh, those Miriam berries are getting to us.
Blackberries. That's inside. Sorry.
All right, so we
Yes.
die. Her brother is killed because we screw around.
A messenger tells us he's dead. What have you been doing here?
Anyway, she inserts it into the narthex and
It's not even funny till you guys start laughing.
We get in.
we get in.
We're inside.
You guys enter. It's basically an elevator shaft, and she.
What we're experiencing
Are
now
there-
is called a giggle fest.
Are the characters like laughing in game?
Yes.
I don't know.
You guys, for some reason, can't stop laughing at Grode and his appearance and his sudden liking to Tierson. Anyway,
So funny.
you've entered into an elevator shaft. She pushes some more buttons, and you guys descend. It's a long trip down.
Keep going.
And
Speeding like super fast drop or
yeah, it seems like a pretty quick drop.
Nice.
It's not rickety or anything.
It's not an industrial coal elevator.
It's not quite a coal mine elevator. And you enter into a large chamber that's sort of oval or more hexagonal, I guess. And it's probably, as far as you can see, it's at least 1,000 feet across, but it's almost all pitch black. You are in the center of this room, and you can see that you are on sort of like a cylinder platform where the elevator is landed, and there's multiple pathways leading off, about 12 of them, but they all lead into extreme darkness with the exception of one. And Ivana says that this area is called the Nave, and that there is really only one true path through the nave. And the path, she points out, is the one path that you can see. It's dimly lit by candles, incense burning. There's some candles that are fully like melted down. There's some brand new ones. And it's this long pathway, and it's filled with sort of religious artifacts. You see lots of scribbles and symbols. You see symbols that look like interconnected spirals. You see something that resembles kind of a sun. And you see something else that resembles a 4-limbed creature, humanoid creature of some kind.
Grode starts pushing the elevator door button to try to get back up. Is it going back up?
No, it's not.
I'm not like this.
it's all good, little buddy. Just stick on my shoulder.
Yeah,
We're good.
it's inoperable without a key stick. So,
So there was a sun, a 4-limbed creature. You mentioned one or two other things.
yeah, there was like some interlinked spirals.
I I'm gonna try to understand some of these symbols as best I can, hoping that it's somehow related to the Numenera. My character's skilled in understanding Numenera. 21. 11.
There actually isn't anything that you can particularly understand. Ivana will flat out tell you that these are man-made symbols made by people inside this religion, but there's no significance to them that is really connected to the Numenera in a way that your Numenera understanding would help you with, because these are primitive-minded interpretations of Numenera. So there's no link between them and the actuality of them that you can pick up on.
Can I try to decipher?
You actually can't. I'm just going to say no because there's nothing really to decipher out of it, and I don't want to spend too much time here. All right.
Ivana, which path should we take? The dimly lit one?
Just the path, the only path.
Where do these other paths lead?
They lead into darkness. But at the end of most of these, supposedly there's just walls. Perhaps inoperable doors or things that we don't understand, but I do know that it's dangerous.
Word.
I would like to. You said they go thousands of feet, basically.
No,
or-
I would say that as far as you can see or perceive, the entire underground structure that you're in is at least 1,000 feet across. So they don't each go thousands of feet.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Okay. What do you guys think? Should we check one of the dark paths out, or just go down the light path?
I think we should go down the light path.
I'm gonna do a quick perception check with hearing. I forgot to mention this. Another feature that you see is that that Grode has large ears, but kind of weak-looking eyes when you get close to him.
I think they're beautiful, but
So I'm gonna see if I can hear anything right now. That's a 1.
You die.
Starting
Blood out of your
strong,
ears.
Grode.
no, we're not gonna do this right now.
Too cruel.
you all
Yeah.
die.
As you are trying to hear something, you get distracted by what you think is a faint noise, but you actually walk nearly off the edge and stub your toe real bad. Take 3 damage.
Stay on my shoulder, little buddy.
Does Grode have toes? Is the question.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
But they're
Long-
constantly evolving.
They're constantly evolving.
You actually,
Only his toes constantly evolve.
They could be fingers one day. We don't know.
you accidentally bump me when you stub your toe, and I get
You lose my-
I gag a little bit, but I
You dab?
gag.
Oh.
I gag.
Okay.
Gags, but with a dab as well.
Something.
Dag gab.
Cool.
Hey guys, we should go down this this passageway that has the light.
We've been standing here a while, huh?
Yeah.
Ivana's been waiting for you to move on.
right.
She's
Yeah.
actually already started down the way. Just assumed you were following her.
We're following.
How smart does she think we are?
1 to 10.
Roll to find out.
13.
She thinks you're 14 smart. Out of 1,000.
Right out of us. We're all the village idiots.
All right. So she leads you down the path. Again, as I've already described, it's filled with candles, incense, those types of things. And at the end of the path, there is a door. And again, this is sort of like you've been led off into a sort of hexagonal, not really hexagonal. You've been led off into a chamber that is kind of like, yeah, it is actually a hexagon. It's 6-sided, it's angular, and it's not like a symmetrical hexagon that you're walking in. It's got like a longer bottom and top, so you're kind of in like
Just how I
basically
like
like a pathway and some sort of like futuristic structure. And there's another door there, of course, and she brings out the key stick again, pushes some buttons, and inserts it into the depression, and the door opens. And now there is another corridor in front of you. And here She says that she can lead the way. This room is more lit. You can see cross paths that
Sorry.
lead somewhere.
Did we already pass a humanoid figure?
No, that was just a symbol that on some of the
Oh, okay.
religious artifacts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she, as you're walking, she leads you forward, and you can see that there's multiple pathways here. Obviously, she's leading you in a specific direction. What do you guys want to do?
We're just following her.
It's
So
if you want to.
You said there's cross
Yeah.
pathways. Is that what
Yeah.
you said?
And they're all lit too? Or
There's cross pathways that they're more lit.
okay, as we're following her, I'm just asking Ivana, what are these other pathways in here leading to now?
They lead to other sections that are dangerous.
Can you give us a little more detail on?
I've never been down there. I've never been down any of these places myself. This whole structure terrifies me. But what I know from the other people in this village, or not this village, in this that live here, that it's dangerous.
Just out of curiosity, where are you leading us to?
I'm leading you to the dwelling where all of us live.
And also, I was wondering, so with this game plan, we're going to be possibly fake recruited into the cult for your brother's release. And then, do you have any plan for when we make the switcheroo?
Do you?
I feel like
Is that on us? Is that
we
our
need to
plan?
know as inductees. We need to know what we're supposed to say. Like, what is?
Well, they'll tell you. I think as inductees, you are feigning interest. Their way of life is not so militant as you might assume.
Is there a deity that we're supposed to be all cool about?
Just the vortex we've mentioned.
Okay.
So I don't get it. Is your brother like a prince or something? Like, what's our take?
He's a prisoner.
Prince.
A lot of the same letters. So who has told you that it's dangerous to go down these other paths? Just other Vortex cult members?
Yes.
And they didn't describe to you why they're dangerous?
No.
Could be a lie. Could discover something cool.
When we were kidnapped from our village, anyone that was friendly to me, I was too afraid to explore myself, so I just listened to what they said.
How
Can
far
I-
down do these paths
Lovely.
go?
I've never been down them myself.
Can I just do a quick check to see if she's telling us the truth? Or if I can sense that she's being
Sure.
honest? What is that word? Oh, it's a 16.
You sense that she's being honest.
Cool. Well, guys, I kind of give a good feeling. I get a good feeling about her. I kind of let the guys know that I think we should maybe just kind of see how this plays out. What do you guys think?
I'm definitely wondering what's down these other corridors, Tony Wonder style. So I'm curious to go down them, the dark ones, but it could be dangerous. So
All right, I'm driven to move forward, guys.
Okay.
Let's do
I'm
this.
gonna
Whatever
move
will get
forward
us
as
out of
well.
here fastest.
we'll follow.
Yeah.
Let's keep
I
on.
hate it down here.
All right. So no off-path veering for you, gentlemen.
We'll save it.
We'll save it.
I'll wonder about it later.
All right. So she takes you down the path. The path eventually leads and ends at a spot looking down into a well-lit round chamber. So if you sort of imagine you have entered into a room that's got like a circular path, like walkway around the perimeter, and then down below is like a whole another like circular room with living quarters. You see kind of couches propped up. This whole room, you're about 15 feet above the bottom of this floor, and you're on about a 12-foot wide path. And so the room, it's not really that high, but it's effectively 2 levels here that you have to deal with. The ledge that you're on is covered with various control panels, screens, sliding switches, lit buttons, and more mysterious mechanisms. Everything appears to be functional, but nothing that you can see makes the functions identifiable or apparent. And then there's panels here and there that have been scavenged essentially for shins or whatever. They're just kind of been torn apart. Yeah, and then at the floor level, you can see looking down, there's round red couches that furnish the space, along with a number of small round tables. The floor itself is padded synth and looks soft to walk upon, and the room appears to be well lived in. It's definitely housed many people at different times. There's books and pillows scattered about on the couches, dishes and cups on the tables, and in more than one spot, you can see ashtrays filled with butts.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet pad,
So
Ivana.
You want to leave this place?
What kind of rent do you pay here?
what do you guys want to do? It's getting down to that level. By the way, is just like there's like a descending part of the pathway. So
So are we just looking for your brother now, Ivana? This is where everyone's living?
well, my brother's been captured and is probably being held prisoner. So we're not really looking for my brother.
Well, you know what he means.
Sticking with the plan of
Yeah.
trying to feign you as inductees.
So
I
we're,
gotcha.
we're in a big area where is it crowded with a lot of people, or is it kind of empty?
It's not crowded. There's like 30 people scattered out through this big room at different spots, upstairs, downstairs, that kind of thing.
Does it seem like people are kind of keeping tight watch on all the stuff around the room? Like I'm thinking disguises.
It seems a
and-
little bit more casual than you'd think.
Okay.
Is anyone looking at us?
No, not yet, but you haven't really entered the room fully.
Okay.
Okay.
You see people not really in yellow robes either.
It's a casual Friday.
Yeah.
Any color robe today.
Your choice.
Let's enter, yeah? And maybe approach some people.
Let's do it.
Maybe Ivana, you could show us your quarters, and maybe we could uncover some clues about how to act or how to. Not in that way.
How to kiss.
Just
How to
three
kiss,
dudes and a squid
show us your
going
bed.
to a ladies'
Little
chambers.
squid boy.
I don't know. Maybe we can just like absorb the culture.
Who do we need to
Yeah.
talk to join this cult?
I love traveling, just like observing the culture.
Call me the Anthony Bourdain of the Ninth World. Don't call me that.
Yeah. Does there seem to be any interesting stuff to interact with, like
Yeah, I mean, there's
dope disguises? or-
Ashtrays.
We got
There's-
ashtrays and stuff. But
There's no real disguises. I mean, there's the control panels on the walls. You're free to mess with, I suppose. Yeah, the people here weren't anticipating your arrival necessarily, so no one is like on guard. You can see people sort of relaxing. There's people talking, people exercising.
Will pressing the buttons on the walls draw negative attention to us?
It could, yeah. But you're still free to attempt to scavenge them if you want to.
I'm getting anxious with my curiosity as I wonder, and I'm going to go descend down to the lower level with my stone-like gaze and just start observing things and looking at people.
Sure.
yeah,
I follow him.
How they
Follow him.
react.
yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
We did something right.
You get 3 XP.
Yeah.
3.
It's a battle encounter now.
Yeah. Definitely. So you descend to the lower level, just Tirsan, or are you guys following
We follow
him?
him.
Are we still like? Is the lady that was showing us? Is she with us too, or?
Yeah, she's with you guys.
Okay, she didn't bail.
Yeah,
Cool.
she didn't bail. She's less of a lady and more of a teen.
Right.
A little lady.
A little lady.
That's someone's daughter you're talking about.
Yeah, so you're greeted by sort of like a matronly looking woman. Down at
Lady.
the bottom. You'd see middle-aged, and she's kind of short, stocky, short grain hair. You know, kind of things you'd want in a grandmother figure.
She's in a robe.
And she says, she
Or is she
speaks to
not wearing
Ivana, and
clothes?
she says, she's not wearing robes, but she's wearing clothes. This is the village elder he kept trying to contact with. I'm just kidding.
Oh, what's her name?
Gralla.
In her palace? Or?
Looking for the palace.
Oh, you found it.
Yikes.
Yeah. She says, "Ooh, Ivana, who are these people that you've brought with you?" And she responds and says, "These are people that saw me and were interested in learning about the ways of the vortex."
Yeah, I'm real hungry, and there's
She
nothing to do
says-
outside. There's only berries out there.
And she says, "Ah, as it is such, so it is such unto you."
Amen.
Hail to thee.
Do you have any pamphlets we can read?
No.
Track.
All praise be to the vortex. I don't know.
And so she sort of like invites you to question her if you'd like.
So, how long have you been involved with this not cult?
My entire life.
Were you born?
Generations, yes. I
Were
was
you
born.
born?
I was
Were you-
born.
I wasn't finished. Jeez, she's a jerk. Were you born in the narthex?
I was. Well, this is the narthex. To correct you, young man, is simply the.
I love being corrected, so please go.
Is simply the entranceway to the dwelling where you are now.
Wow.
The Temple of the Vortex is vast with many divine traits to it that people don't fully understand. Not even us. We simply try to abide by the will of the Vortex.
Tell me about those other paths that no one understands.
Most of them lead to danger. Visitors that go down them never return. There's stories of darkness, and there's stories of weaponized rooms and things that have no interest to us just living peaceful lives serving the vortex.
Yeah, what are the perks? Why do you stay down here?
Well, this is truly the only light there is for the ninth world.
How do we join?
Someday
Murder the sun.
someday the entire world will bend to the will of the vortex. And that's when peace and understanding will truly come about.
You can count me in for some of that. I'll take a slice of that. Actually,
And,
She says, "Great, here's some pie."
and what is the vortex?
The vortex is a divine being that no one truly understands.
A bean?
Must you worship the vortex within the dwelling, or can you worship him abroad?
You can worship him. You can worship
It,
him
sorry.
abroad. You can worship it abroad with your lives, but we here that live in the temple are the guardians of the vortex,
I
the
see.
keepers of its ways, for we are in its presence directly here.
Does he contact anyone directly?
Or
No.
she?
Sorry, male bias.
Get your pronouns right.
What are his pronouns?
No, his will. Its will is enacted through its chosen divine vessel, a brassel. Why it chose a brassel, no one will ever understand.
Did you grow up with a brassel?
A brassel is younger than I am. No one knows why he was chosen by the vortex to be our leader. This cult, or our way of life, has been around for hundreds of years. We've known peace and prosperity, but now look at us. We've gone from numbers of hundreds to just the handful you see here.
What happened to the rest of them?
Died or left.
Who was in charge before asshole? I'm sorry, I'm brass.
If you're tired of sifting through flea markets for rare and unique games, we can help. Retro City Games in Henderson, Nevada, only 5 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, has all your favorite gaming staples, classics, and a wide selection of rare games with new stuff always appearing on our shelves. Come in and chat with Nicole or Doug about your love of games and watch as they help you complete your collection or find your childhood favorite. And don't forget, Retro City Games loves trade-ins. So if you have any Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, Xbox, PlayStation, or even PC games, come in and visit Retro City Games today. Welcome to the new metropolis of gaming, Retro City Games.
And we're back. Everybody listen up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commercials.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that word from our sponsors, Wheelie Q Barbecue Sauce.
All right, so we're back, and the gang at large has decided to go to approach Norrid's living chambers. So living chambers here are interesting. So you're at the bottom of this dwelling space, and it's a circular room, as I said, and there's doors proportionately spaced out all around it. Some of them are open. You can see humble living spaces, sparse bedding, dishes, that kind of thing. Nothing that looks particularly comfortable. Nothing that looks like completely destitute. Living conditions, of course, they're kept and cleaned and such, but not exactly comfortable living. Very Spartan, if you will. And they are metallic doors, but you can actually just slide them open. They don't need key sticks or anything like that.
Oh, like Star Trek.
Yeah, pretty much. So you've approached Norrid's chambers. You see a tall man facing kind of away from you guys. And Ivana approaches first and says, Norrid, we wanted to introduce to you these new people that are interested in the will of the vortex. And as he turns around, he looks dead straight. He looks dead. He looks dead straight at Tierson and is taken aback. And Tierson is also confused because Norrid looks almost exactly like him.
What?
Whoa. You look good.
And it's kind of like a get.
You thinking what I'm thinking, Norrid?
Yeah.
So
Everyone else clear out.
zip.
Sensei, feeling left out, slowly like half disguises himself to look more like both of them, but just a little bit.
Crafts a quick illusion.
Kane starts breathing heavily.
Anyway, Norrid, you see him like take out a little notebook and he
Oh,
makes
that was a relief.
You need to say that a little faster next time.
takes out a little notebook and
Thank you.
he pencils something down while looking very nervously at Tierson. He puts it away and then he does his best to ignore it and says, well, welcome to my living spaces.
Norrid, I can't help but observe that we look very much alike.
I wonder
Yes.
why.
It must be the will of the vortex, but I must admit that I am as mystified by it as you are.
Interesting.
Are you twins?
What did you just write about me, Norrid, may I ask?
Assuming it's about you.
Like you're feeling a little
I can
self-conscious?
deduct pretty well.
Sherlocked
him.
Simply a note to ponder this mystery later on.
I am a big fan of pondering. Might even say wondering. It's kind of my focus in life.
Interesting.
We could like wonder together sometime if you want.
No
I
big
enjoy
deal.
pondering, but I'm more of a panderer, if you will.
Panderer? You're pandering us right now?
No, I'm just.
Oh, pondering.
Yeah.
So NORAD, how long have you been in the cult or been obeying the will of the vortex?
Well,
I'm interested in it.
seeing as how my name is Norrid,
Oh, well, tomato.
NORAD has not been in the cult for many years.
My culture says our ids as odds.
Yeah, so you're not being sensitive to his culture right
Yeah.
now?
Ooh.
Since Otov.
Yeah. You must be the chosen survivor of the eighth world.
I
I-
actually am. Thank you for.
He's at this point he is pandering you,
Okay.
patronizing you a little bit.
Okay.
And he bows to you and says, "Oh, great survivor of the eighth world, may we forever correct my name to NORAD."
I whisper audibly, I hope Freyan's better than this guy, or they're doomed.
Can I
I'm
use,
thoroughly confused. What's your name again?
Can I use commune with the dead to talk to Dave's dead pride?
It's not interested.
Anyway, well, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
I'm not talking to him.
We want to plan. We want to plan an uprising.
Okay. Rewind that.
What'd you say?
Maybe I will talk.
He said we want to plan an uprising.
Oh,
Are you all
you
concerned
said
about
the
uprising?
U word already?
I want to skip all the chit chat and go right to the.
What do you think of a brassel? Norid, Norard?
I'd say that
Nortard? Is that what you
Chard.
said?
I've humbly served the Vortex for as long as I can remember, and why Abrasil was made leader and given his power is something I'm still coming to grips with.
Does it have anything to do with his lineage? We heard earlier that his father was the leader before him.
It must be. This is some aspect of the Vortex's call that we don't understand. There must be something. There must be some reason, but I can't fathom it. He's absolutely the worst.
Tell me, has anyone ever overrun a leader who was corrupt and taken the position?
No, we tend to be. Until Abrasil came along, we were mostly a peace-loving group. But Abrasil, for whatever reason, is just such an ugly, violent man, and Gregor takes to him for some reason and is equally violent. Although no one really respects him, he just is loud, and no one has the energy to deal with him when Abrasil's out in the outside world.
How often does a brassel go out into the outside world?
Not particularly often.
Do you know
Couple
what he
times
does?
a year. I have no idea what he does.
What kind of powers does he have?
He's, for some reason, has some control over all metallic objects within his range.
Interesting.
Would some describe him as a nano or a master of the Numenera?
I wouldn't really call him a master of anything other than his most basest desires.
What would a true leader of the Vortex be doing and accomplishing?
A true leader of the Vortex would be simply doing what we've always done, guarding the Vortex, keeping this temple space safe, and encouraging peace and harmony between our live-in members.
Who would you, if you could, who would you opt to have be the leader of the Vortex?
Well, if you could somehow manage to defeat Abrasil and convince everyone else here to not just immediately bow down to Gregor and his grotesque personality as well, I don't really know. I don't even know if we would need a leader.
How much do you think it would cost to? I sound like Chip Chan, another character I've played before. Let me try that again. How much do you think it would?
It's like they're the same person.
How much do you think it would cost to, let's just say, if you wanted to get this situation adjusted and taken care of and get the right sheriff in town, what would it be to you and the people involved and things like that?
Well, we have no money. Most of
Well,
us here,
rats.
most of us here are. Bye.
What is this all about?
Most of us here are like myself, are aren't prone to violence, and everything that we earn and make is taken immediately by Abrasil. I suppose if you could somehow manage to defeat him, even with his divine power, I suppose you'd be welcome to his whatever treasures and things he keeps locked in his bedchambers.
What do you?
Although I would cloak yourself with some type of healing array before I would walk into that den of iniquity.
Maids.
We could be maids.
Do you mean that we should disguise ourselves as like a cleaning service?
I don't know how you would ever jump to that conclusion.
I mean,
You were pretty
you
explicit.
were pretty clear. Do you want me to be explicit?
So his room, his chambers are dangerous. You're saying when you just by walking in there, it's like
The very air you breathe.
I mean, he's just saying that they're gross.
right.
Just
Okay.
a lot of like whips and stuff.
Metaphorical.
Yeah.
What do you mean about by healing a
I
raise?
teach everyone what a metaphor is.
Is that a cipher within the nave or something we could access?
No, it just
Oh.
means his room is gross.
Oh,
Because he's a
gosh.
gross man.
So
All right.
are there any ways you would like? Is there any weakness to a Brassel that you can think of, or are there any things he keeps people away from?
Asking
Maybe
for
the-
a friend.
Maybe the dark paths. Is he hiding something there? Do you think, or is there any way to defeat him?
I'd have to think about it. He never turns his back to anyone.
If 3 strapping young travelers and a squid thing decided to take on a Brassel, could the Vortex offer us anything that might be beneficial to us?
I don't know what the Vortex could offer you or couldn't offer you, but I do know that I have seen other rooms that have artifacts in them that you might find useful. I would recommend again that if you take any metal near a Brassel, you will be immediately pushed away.
Good point.
What is Ivana's body language during this whole conversation?
She's a teenager, Dave. Leave it alone.
Why are you staring at a teenager's body?
I just want to know the language.
She's pacing outside the door.
Okay. What do you think of Freyan? How do you say that?
Oh yeah, he's good.
good?
He's good. He's busy. He's never in his chambers, but he rarely leaves the temple. He keeps strict notes on when we can enter and leave. He's pretty much the calendar keeper of the entire religion. He writes everything down in a journal. He knows when the narthex will appear, when it will disappear, where we will be, what towns are nearby, how long we have to restock supplies and get back.
How would he be as a leader?
Oh, I don't know. He would probably be he's too fascinated by the unknown to probably focus his attentions on leading.
More of a high priest type guy?
Sure.
I think that's probably right. What do you think of Saber? Sabra.
Savra, she's the mother to us all in some ways. She's been here the longest.
She's from Tallahassee.
Has 2 great
Came to
names.
Scranton.
Is the ideal of your guys' organization just to live in peace and sustain and live? I'm trying to think of what the end goal is for y'all.
It's peace.
Protecting the vortex,
it's peace
yeah.
for the whole world. Converting them to our way of living, to the true way of living, to the only way of living.
And how will this be accomplished?
Slowly, peacefully.
Painfully.
We agree. We think you're right. And we were hoping that we could get fast-tracked, maybe take like an aptitude test or some sort of like thing to get it. you
Yeah,
know.
thetan meters.
Yeah, get our feelings on and just kind of get going on the whole induction process.
Yeah, what's the indoctrination process look like?
I want to pause and say that's really what you want to say now. You've already talked to him about like how to potentially assassinate the leader,
Yeah, I feel like we
say
should kind
that,
of go
did we?
through with the assassination.
and now you want to go back to the. So how do we? Now that we've talked about all these secret things, like how do we just become members? Because we.
Well, okay. What if we winked as we said it?
I mean, just
Well, okay.
Well, I mean, whether
I
or
don't
not
think
you
we really
become
said anything that bad, did we?
members, like because if we become member, Yeah. I mean, our main mission is to try to rescue out brother here.
Right. And this guy's obviously like a dirtbag, so it could be rad to like
I
ask him.
guess it just feels it sort of feels like this isn't really the right person to ask about getting inducted into, and you've sort of questioned him on like a different tangent. So
Without getting inducted, can we get close enough to Abraxel to have a confrontation with him?
we'll have to find out in character.
Okay. All right.
And then, obviously the metal thing, that was a good note. So like, I think most of us are nanos.
Yeah, we're all
You're a
nanos.
Jack.
I'm a Jack.
Yeah.
So you'll just not bring your sword maybe, or else he might kill you with it.
Or my knife.
Yeah, I'll leave my knife behind as well.
So we could visit Fan. We could go down dark corridors, or we could try to get to Brassel.
Well, should we go back to the game? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about assassination.
So at this point, Norrid shoos you out of his room and says that whatever you are planning, I can't be willingly a part of. Sort of in a way that's sort of like keeping his hands clean.
Did he wink though?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all the approval we need. We're good.
At this point, you guys have been around for a little while in sort of the dwelling space. I need everyone to make a roll.
Bread roll or
17.
Yeah.
17.
9.
3.
All right. Cincian's arm catches fire for no apparent reason.
whoa.
And he takes 2 damage.
Why?
What was that?
Spontaneous combustion.
What the?
Does anyone want to explain that?
Oh.
There's an evolving mutant in our midst.
He's turning into Charmander.
Yeah.
So glad you
So
came.
as you kind of put down the fire, Grode immediately puts away some little canisters that he has in a pouch because at all times he's carrying some very what's the term?
Flammable?
Very dangerous materials at all time, and as part of his combustible materials at all times, and as part of his evolving situation, he doesn't quite have that under control as of yet. So
Great.
yeah,
This was my finest robe.
Basically,
should we
I don't think it's I thought it wasn't really.
have resolved that in character? I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
it's a thing of combustibles. I thought it was just things
Yeah, I was trying
around
to
you
think-
just catch fire.
It can, yeah.
I
I
would
was just
say
trying to
it's
think of
just
a
that.
way to work it in. Okay.
Maybe explain that in
Yeah.
character.
All right. All right.
It's a little.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good for okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
So, oh gosh, put the fire out! Put the fire out! Everybody, put the fire out! Okay. That was my bad. I should explain a little bit of something about myself. I don't have everything completely under control 100% of the time.
We noticed.
Yeah, so there may be some minor side effects having me around in your party for something like this, but everything will be fine. Don't you sweat about it. We can work through this together as a team, isn't that right? Your name. What's your name again?
Tierson.
Tierson?
Tierson. Tierson's got my back.
Sounds believable to me.
Yeah.
I mouth to Tierson. Take care of this.
I'm working on it.
How many burn marks will we have when we're done?
Hey, I'm working on potty training him, one thing at a time. He's on my shoulder all day, okay?
Rub his nose in it.
Can I ask Ivana a quick question?
Sure.
Ivana, what did you think of Norid's assessment
Muscles.
of Fran as potential leader of the Vortex?
I would agree. He's a kind man, smart man, knowledgeable man, but he's fairly scatterbrained.
Does the Vortex need a leader? Because she had mentioned, or he had mentioned, that it doesn't need one.
I don't know if I've made this particularly explicit, but I don't actually believe in the way of the vortex. Yeah, sir.